What's up, people? I'm here for the second convention. If y'all don't remember me, I did the last one back on November 7th. I spoke at, I think, the 2:30 time frame, and I did a little something on the Christian nation argument, and I did my best to debunk the living shit out of that one. And from what I'm told by Adam Collins, I had some pretty good feedback from the last one that he asked me to be an alternate for this convention. And I said, sure, yeah, why not? And he basically had me as a standby just in case somebody was set up for this one and then at the last minute couldn't make it, I would come in. Well, he actually had two people drop out, and of course, not too long ago, Adam's like, "Hey, man, could you really make something for me? I need you for this one." And I said, "Sure, man, not a problem." So of course, since it's punchline and everything like that, I usually need time to come up with a certain idea or a certain topic. My brain was racked. I couldn't think of anything whatsoever to talk about. I actually put a post in the speakers group for the convention asking, hey, what are your guys' topics? I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to, you know, just shit on somebody else's topic when they've already got theirs, laid out and done. Some of them already had their stuff done already. So I just want to make sure that uh, I didn't, hinder on anybody else's idea. Well, everybody got back with me. Everybody got their ideas down. And even then, I was still like, fuck, man, what do I do? What do I do? Well, then I learned a couple days later about a guy named Emo David. And I learned that he was in a particular situation which caused him not to be able to produce a presentation for this convention. Once I learned a little bit more about his situation, I thought to myself, this is it. This should be about him. This should not be about me or whatever bullshit topic I can come up with that somebody's already had or somebody's already thought about. And it just felt like it was the right thing to do to speak about this guy's situation and how it would relate to us here in the United States or other countries around the world that enjoy certain freedoms that in some places can't really get away with. Let me give you a little backstory on my man, Emo David. Emo is a Nigerian-born atheist activist, blogger / author. He just recently wrote a book called The Ultimate Curse of Mankind. Basically a raw, first visual account of the harms of religion within the world, specifically to Nigeria. The book was just recently released back on October 11, 2015. Within 5 days of its release, it hit number 13 on Amazon's new releases in atheism and number 5 in the Kindle version. It was the first book written by a Nigerian activist to criticize religion and promote atheism. By reading the reviews and talking with some people close to him, he kind of has an approach where he's blunt, he's smart, he has a little bit of humor. He kind of has that on raw approach to things where he just doesn't give a fuck if it hurts anybody's feelings. Growing up in Nigeria, he was pretty fortunate to have a somewhat wealthy father who believed in education. So he made sure that Emo had the right education, the best education that could be found within Nigeria, which was great for Emo because even as a young child, he wanted to learn. He always wanted more knowledge. He wanted to know as much as he could. But with that, he also questioned his faith. You see, but that leads to a problem within Nigeria. Because if you actually look at the country, the north half of the country is run by Islamic groups. The southern half is by Christian groups. And Nigeria doesn't enjoy the same freedoms that we do in the United States, Canada, some parts of Europe, Australia. So he knew by writing books, by doing blogs, by speaking out on social media, he knows he's, stepping on hot water, walking on eggshells, especially the way the country's being run. See, there is a government there. There is a democratic government there. But anytime any of the extremist groups, whether Islam or Christian, do anything, the government just sits back and, oh, plus with a lot of this being handed over by the, what would be considered like the mega pastors here in the U.S., they got them over there too. So, of course, when you write a novel that's being sold worldwide, it's not long before the death threats start coming. And it's not just from the Christian side of the house, you have Boko Haram, who usually, runs the northern end of Nigeria anyway. So, they started knocking on the door. They started sending threats within social media, his emails, what have you. It got to the point where he had to abandon his home. Right now, as we speak, he is in hiding. He had to leave everybody behind, had to leave all his belongings behind, had to leave his home behind. He still, every now and again, you'll see him pop up on social media because, these fundamentalist groups don't really have that type of pull with the government to start hunting him down and trying to track him through satellite, through his phone or what have you. I tried to get in contact with the guy personally, and he had to be really short with his answers with me. So he got me in touch with a close friend of his. Talking with a close friend of his, she let me on a little bit more about what's going on with his situation. And by doing that, I learned a whole new realm of religious, almost like religious rule of law, per se, that I never knew about. I guess I'd grown accustomed to everything in the United States that I really didn't have my eyes open to what happens in other countries. The only thing I know outside of the U.S. is mainly, how Islam is pretty much running the Middle East. They're trying to move west, take parts of Europe. They've actually taken certain cities in Europe. But he's being sandwiched by Islam and Christianity just for speaking out, just for speaking his mind. See, we can get away with that here. We can say whatever the fuck we want. We can say fuck God, fuck Allah, fuck Buddha, fuck Krishna, fuck whatever. And the only thing we'll get is, fucking backlash from those same fundamentalists. They can't touch us. We have the First Amendment on our side with that. And I still find it great that he's still such a personable guy that even though he's in hiding, this stuff is like a swirl in his mind. He doesn't know if he's going to get woken up in the middle of the night. He doesn't know if he's going to get ripped out of wherever he's hiding from. He doesn't know if he could walk out the front door without being shot. He still found the time to answer my request. I asked him, hey man, I'd love to hear your story. Any details that you have to tell me, I'd love to hear. He gave me so much, but he still had to get me in contact with other people to get more, to, people that talk with him more, because I found this so interesting. I found this so awesome that, this guy has taken it a step higher than what we do in the States. Yeah, we speak out. We go to conferences. We make YouTube videos. But this guy wrote a book. This guy put his life on the line. He knew what this could entail. He knew that this could come back to bite him in the ass. So with that said, after learning about his story and getting in touch with a close friend of his out of Canada, I really thought to myself, this has to be for people like him. There's people aside from, it's not just him. There's more activists out there. There's more people that stand up regardless of the backlash that they could take. I look at us, we're nothing when we speak out compared to what he's doing. All he did was speak his mind. He spoke what he thought was right. And now he's got fundamentalist groups coming after him. And when I say coming after him, they're not coming after him just to talk to him. No, they want him dead. He criticized the Almighty God. So, they want to handle that in the worst way possible. Recently, I just talked with a close friend of his. They were chatting on a direct message through Twitter. He said that he's kind of in a bad spot mentally because he just heard about a journalist that just wanted to kind of find out more about ISIS. ISIS got a hold of him, beheaded him. I mean, this is what flows through his mind. This is what he has to fear of. All because he wrote a book. All because he wanted to get the message out there worldwide that religion is harmful. It is a curse to mankind. He labeled his book perfectly with that. So I looked at it as, if I'm pretty much oblivious to what's going on over there, and I just recently learned about it, how many others don't know about this? How many others don't know about Emo's story? His story is serious. It is severe. It needs to be put out there. And I hope some Christians learn this shit too. Because what they want with this country, what they're trying to push through law, is exactly what Nigeria's got going on right now. They don't see it. I wish they would open their eyes and see that if you got what you really wanted, if you wanted a Christian-ruled nation, it'd be Nigeria. No matter if it's third world, first world, or not. It doesn't fucking matter. When you have a Christian rule, this is the type of shit that happens. People that want to speak out, people that don't want to believe, that can't believe in a fucking mystical sky daddy are silenced. And it's just not fair. If you believe in God, you can say whatever you want. You can thrash the lower guys. Hell, I learned that with emo as a child, if you did anything to let your parents know that you weren't going along with how the faith would go, you were booted out your home. 6, 7, 8 years old, you'd be booted out your home. And just like the Puritans did when they first got here, it's the same over there. All you need is for somebody to say, she's a witch, and it's game on. It is game on. The same exact thing happened. So that's why, yes, here in the U.S., we are fortunate. We have a secular constitution because our founding fathers saw that type of shit and saw things in Nigeria were going to happen, right off the bat. They predicted it. So they made sure no bullshit like what's going on over there would happen here. So as I said before, he's in hiding right now. He's basically fearful of his life. And he can't stay at one place all the time. He always has to keep where he's hiding a secret, even to those that he stays in contact with. Because if any of it gets out of where he's at, it's over. It is over. And for a great mind like this, I've read the first half of his book. Man, he is solid. He is so solid. I mean, very, very clear, very, just upfront, in your face, the way it's supposed to be. And when I read earlier that he has kind of a relation to Aaron Ra, oh yeah, you can see it there. He doesn't say that, well, these people honestly believe. No, he'll flat out say these motherfuckers pretend that there's a mystical sky daddy. He holds nothing back. I honestly should have read the full book before making this video. But, I got to get this out, man. For those of you that don't know his story, this is what's going on. This is real. This is happening. He did a phone interview with That Atheist podcast. Link for that will be in the description below. There's also a GoFundMe page set up for him to help him to get to wherever he needs for safety. I honestly recommend checking out his book. Like I said, I only read the first half of it, but it's worth the read. There's also will be a link below for t-shirts on teespring.com. These awesome shirts has the title of the book, and you can see the print for the Nigerian flag behind it. I just put my order in for one. You should do the same. All proceeds will go to help him out in any way. And he still messes around on Twitter and Facebook. He doesn't do it all the time, but when he does, he's there. Friend him. Look him up. There's a couple videos on YouTube where he did a speech. It was just recently after he released the book. It wasn't too soon after that speech that he had to take off. But he's out there. He's a great mind. I don't know him personally. I don't know him outside of social media. But I say, yes, he's a good guy. And I would consider him a friend. So that's it for me for today. Please share this. Please spread the word. Get it out there. Because this segment is not about me. It's about him. I want to thank Barbara Jean Price for giving me a little bit more info on him. She's been keeping in contact with him a little closely. But, it's somebody for him to talk to. She calms him down a lot. She really helps him out with this really troubling time. And last but not least, Emo, I don't know you personally, but I do consider you as a friend. Stay safe, and I hope that you find peace soon. Later.